I hope everybody is having a good month. What's today? Thursday? Is today Thursday? Thursday. Today is Thursday. Wow, today is Thursday. Yeah. I just had to like catch on to the fact that today is actually Thursday. Like, when I tell you these days are moving by so fast, like you can't keep up how fast they're moving. It's crazy. Anyhow, I am headed to work to get my day started. We got a lot going on. The weather has changed. It's 60 degrees this morning. If you are a Floridian, you know that 60 degrees is like a state of emergency. And that's what I would call it, a state of emergency. 60 degrees to me is a lot. 60 degrees is cool. 60 degrees is extremely cool to me. If Adriana sent me one more password. It's extremely cold to me. And for me, it's like, when the weather is like this, I like cold weather because here it is, we want to move to where it gets cold. But I don't like cold weather. It's like a thing where you like it, but you hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. There's not really another way to say it. Like, it's definitely a love-hate relationship with cold weather. Anyway, you guys, I need to first say thank you to every single person who has I'm on live. What? No. But no. What kind of question is that? What? Oh, well, that one you answer. Correct. You still gotta hit yes. All right. Okay. Listen, I ain't never heard of nothing asking a question like that. Anyway, good morning, you guys. I am headed to work to get my day started. We are finishing up orders that we received over this week. So majority of the orders have gone out. I think we're in the double digits of remaining orders to ship. So those orders we're working on. A lot of you should have already started receiving your orders, which is a great thing. But as I was saying, I want to say thank you to everyone who donated to the GoFundMe for my dad and my sister yesterday. You know, it's definitely one of those things where it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And the reason why I say that is people think that, you know, as an entrepreneur, that means that you are a billionaire. That does not mean that. Like, I never thought that, you know, I know they always say, you know, your parents raise you to take care of you, and then you are also now raised to take care of your parents. And that's what I've been doing for both my mom and my dad and my brother and my own kids and just my own family. But I don't think people understand the devastation that really has happened. Like, honestly, I don't think anyone in the United States knows what a Category 5 hurricane is like. Except for probably the people in Miami or the Keys, because they're always getting hit with the tailwinds from the things that stir up in the tropics. But if you live in Florida, you've definitely gone through at least one hurricane. People here are literally leaving their homes to run when they hear a Category 2 hurricane is coming. We're talking about a 2, even a 1. The highway is full to the point where people can't even figure out where to go. They're stuck on the highway during the hurricane. Jamaica had a Category 5 all the way through. It wasn't even it got to them as a Category 3. No, it landed as a 5. It left as a 5. It just now, as it's making its way towards Bermuda, is somewhat of a Category 2, and they're hoping that it doesn't re-strengthen because it has a large body of water to take up before it gets to Bermuda and Antigua and those places. Like, there's a part of Jamaica that is flatline. Completely flatline. Like, nothing. Like, day before yesterday or 2 days ago, there were buildings, there were homes, there were office buildings, there were schools, there were police stations, there were airports, there were cars, there were trucks, there were bikes, there were people. And within 24 hours, nothing is there. The people of St. Elizabeth, God knows my heart goes out to them, because I know a lot of people from St. Elizabeth. I know a lot of people from there. And St. Elizabeth is almost non-existent, even though I know that it's an over-exaggeration of information, but it is almost non-existent. Like, there are communities that are literally nothing. I thank God that the death toll right now is not in the triple digits, because what Jamaica got hit with is expectant of triple digit deaths right now. And people said that, oh my gosh, you'll never be able to survive a Category 5. You'll never be able to. But the small island of Jamaica, the very small third world island of Jamaica, survived a Category 5 hurricane. And while there are still many deaths, I watched a video yesterday of water running like a river. This is a street in St. James. It's called Irwin. I know exactly where it is because my family is also from Montego Bay. My father's side, he's from Linstead, St. Catherine. My mother's side is from Montego Bay. Irwin, I literally watched a house. I'm talking a cinder block cement with steel pipe running through the cinder block. This is how they build houses there. They don't build houses like us with drywall and wood frames. They don't do that in Jamaica. They build houses with block, stone, mud, steel rods. And I watched this house literally tilt over and everything fall through the windows, not knowing that there were actually 2 people, a husband and a wife, inside that house that died. And we're watching the house, literally, the whole house tilt forward and roll away. And you're watching it in slow motion. And everybody's thinking that there's no one in the house, when actually husband and wife was in the house. And they died. I'm looking at houses, the height of my own current home, the home that I live in right now. We have 20-foot ceilings in our home. I'm looking at houses in the nicer part of Jamaica that have ceilings just as high. And the flood has gotten so bad to the point where the water was at the tip of the roof. So the 20-foot ceiling does not include the roof. This is all you see on the house. Like yesterday I had to be in a very vulnerable state, extremely, and what he was saying to me. And all I could remember is him yelling and saying, "Krista, the house gone, the house gone." I'm like, "What you mean the house is gone?" He's like, "I have to find somebody that can send you a picture," because at this point my dad didn't even have a phone good enough that could take a good picture. And this is when the internet wasn't a huge thing yet. The internet was not a huge thing. So he had to take a picture and he had to go somewhere else and have them email me this picture. And when he emailed me the picture, my dad's entire house from roof to floor had nothing but mud in it. Nothing but, I'm talking mud through the window. This is how high. Like, his entire house was taken by dirt, mud, and water. And my father lost everything. When I say everything, everything excluding the clothes he had on his back and his legs, and the socks that he had on before he had jumped through the window as the mudslide happened. And I could not do anything to help my dad. I had nothing to help my dad. I had nothing at that moment to help my dad. That was one of the most challenging times of my entire life, because I could barely at that moment even help myself. And at that point, I had 2 children, which was Adriana and Alex. I was struggling just to pay my rent. I was right on the verge of eviction at that moment. I could do nothing for my dad. Not a thing for him. And I couldn't even say, let me fly to Jamaica on a $200 plane ticket to help my dad. Because this wasn't even a hurricane. This was just rain. This is why I try to tell people and make people understand that this is not the small thing that y'all think it is. This happened when it was just rain. It wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't anything. It was just rain and water. And a mudslide took my dad's entire, and my dad literally had to go and beg my grandparents to stay at their house, who lives right above my dad. My grandparents, my aunts, they live in a house. Like, it's so many things that I've gone through in life that it's just, it's so unreal to me. So anyone that doesn't know, my dad was deported from the United States. My dad was a drug dealer. Let me call it what it is. Right? He used to sell weed, though, not, the other stuff. This was before marijuana became somewhat legal. Anyway, my father decided that instead of sitting in prison and waiting on court dates and eating up money, and my mom being a single mom trying to figure out how to save my dad, how to get attorneys, he said he will voluntarily deport himself. That is how my father ended in Jamaica. My dad got deported back in 1995. Anyhow, when he got to Jamaica, before going to Jamaica, my dad would take all of his money. He'd take care of us first, of course, as his family. And then he used a lot of his money to help build my grandma's house, which is a 2-story palace on the top side of his house over on the hill. My father, when we would go to Jamaica, he would make us go to my grandma's house so that he could help put the windows in, help do the tile floors, help do all these things. And do you know that once the house was finished, once the house was done, my grandma told him that he could not come there. So they used him for the money. They used him to fix things. They used him to do things. And my grandma looked at my dad and said, you cannot come here. You cannot stay here. You have to go find somewhere to go. You cannot stay here. This is her son, my father. Mind you, this is also the same grandmother who always would walk and say that me and my brother were not my dad's kids and that we were dad kids. It was so much. Like, I can't make these things up. I cannot make these things up. So that put a whole strain on my dad's side of family. Like, I barely spoke to my dad's side of family. Because once that happened, I said, how is it that a mother could turn her back on her own son? Especially the son who would use his money. Even my mom would argue. I would hear so many arguments with my mom and dad. My mom telling him, Howard, stop sending money to them. Howard, stop giving them this. Howard, stop giving them that. And he would still do it because he was always the black sheep child. And he'd still do it because, as children, as children of our parents, we want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be loved by our parents. We always do. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the strongest or the weakest. Your journey in life as a child is to be loved by your parent. That is it. And anyone can attest to it. And if anyone says different, you're lying. So with that being said, when I tell people I am my father and my sister's sole providers. My brother's in prison. My sister's now in prison. My dad has 4 children. Me, my sister Monique, who is 11, my sister Brianna, who is 30 something, and then my brother Junior, who is Howard Jr., who is like 35. Leave it to me, Junior's been 19 forever, but okay. Well, out of all 4 of his children, number 1, I'm the oldest. If you know about being the oldest child, what happens with the oldest child? They are the ones to traditionally be the person who's the foundation of the family, the person who takes care of the family, the person who reads all the documents, the person who signs everything, the person who figures everything out, the person who takes care of their parents when their parents when their parents are in need, when their parents aren't well. That's me as the oldest child. If you're an oldest child, strange to you, because to you you're like, that's just what God prepared me for, to be the weight for my family. And I know if my brother and sister were in a position to be able to do something, they would, but they're not. They're not in a position to even help themselves. So for me, for the many years, I've told you guys the story, you know, when my father lost his car, I had no money. And all I said was, Daddy, give them the car. Give them the car, Daddy. Give them the car. Because they came to repossess a car that wasn't even working. He couldn't even afford to pay for that car anymore because the car was running him rugged, leaving him in the street. And they came to repossess a car that was already sitting on the side of the road for weeks. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, let them take it. Let them take the car, Dad. It's okay. Let them take it. And he cried and he said, no, I need the car. And the car wasn't even working. So I was just like, Daddy, I will figure it out. Again, this was right at the moment. When I say the moment, I mean the moment Elite Hair Care took off. The day I told him, let them take the car, I said, Daddy, I will figure out how to get you a car. I'll figure it out, Daddy. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. Mind you, he had already had to figure out how to rebuild his home. He had to work 2 jobs. One being a security guard at night while they were building the same highway that caused the landslide that took his house the first time. He had to work for them to make sure that he could afford to pay for food for him and my sister, because I couldn't afford to help them. Anyhow, the day Elite Hair Care took off, and when I say it took off and it didn't stop taking off at that moment, God blessed me with a Shopify loan. I'll never forget it. I saw Shopify offered me a loan for $40,000. And I took the $40,000 and I called my dad and I said, Daddy, I know you want a Pro Box. Go look for the car. And we will just have to make payments, but I can at least do the down payment right now. Because he's a taxi, well, at that time he was a taxi driver. And he had no taxi to drive to make money. So he found a Pro Box. My dad is not a super fancy guy. Like, my dad is a very simple man. His farm is his life. You know, he loved to cook, which is how he came up with Moon Spice. Like, my dad is one of them very simple. Always been that way. He's the one that got me to have a green thumb. That's my dad. So he went, he got the car. I sent a total of $9,000 US to the finance company as the down payment to the car. And the way Jamaica works, when you have a car note, it's weekly, not monthly. It's a weekly car note. So every single week I had to find $400 to send him so that he could pay the car note. Mind you, this is a Pro Box. I'm trying to tell you, let me tell y'all what the Pro Box is. A Pro Box is like a Kia. And it's the size of a Kia to me. It just has a hatchback. It's the size of a Kia. Flatten the Kia a little bit, that's the whole car. That's the car he said will work for him because, you know, he's running taxi. He needs to have the back area, which is the hatchback, so that he can put people's groceries, whatever the case may be, and then, you know, be able to drive the car. That's why they call him Pink Boss, because my dad, when I say my dad love his car, my dad love his car, my dad love his farm. Is my dad okay? Yes, my dad is okay. My dad is okay. My sister is okay. Meaning physically, yes. Anyhow, you know, I would do my absolute best to take care of my dad and my sister while he was making a way for himself. So him running taxis, eventually he had to stop running the taxi because running a taxi in Jamaica is also another money bleeding situation. Between the police always having an issue, your insurance is 5 times the amount. You have to do your registration twice a year, or no, once a year. The car having to be run down because it's a taxi. Like, there's been so many different things. So he ended up stopped running a taxi and decided to build a shop in front of the house. In Jamaica, shops are not like 7-Eleven. A shop is like, his shop is not even the size of a walk-in closet. A shop is usually in the local area, and you're really working, like you're selling goods to the people within the local area, because in order for you to get to supermarkets and all that, if you're in the country area, you have to take taxis and you got to do all these things, and they don't have the means to do that every single day. You need rice. Well, they're not buying a 20-pound bag of rice. They're buying a 1-pound bag of rice. That's how the economy is in Jamaica. People don't, they think that because what we see here, that's how it is there. No, it's nothing like that. You guys see the resorts, you guys see the tropical things and the nice beach. And okay, I want you to step outside that resort, cross the road, and go a mile up the street, and you'll see the difference in life. So, you know, at the end of the day, y'all thought Katrina was a thing? Y'all thought Katrina was a thing. And God bless anyone who went through Katrina, because yes, I mean, when I say it was a thing, meaning devastation of a thing. Jamaica is the size of Orlando in my mind. It's not even the size of Florida. So when you have people who already don't have anything, and now everything is gone because they already didn't have anything. The only thing they had was the 4 walls, one little coach, one whatnot, a little gas stove that you got to buy gas for, or even a charcoal stove that you got to buy charcoal for every other day. You got to refill your gas tank. You got kids who you have to pay. Y'all looking at our education here. Our education here is free. Your kids can go to public school for free. In Jamaica, that's not it. The kids have to pay to go to school in Jamaica. They have a school fee that they pay every year before they start school, on top of buying new uniforms, on top of buying books. Mind you, this is a country with no money. They have money, but the people don't have money. It's either you're rich or you're poor. There's no in between. And I would say 80% of the island is poor. The other upper echelon of it are people who run businesses. Most businesses there, like big businesses, are not even run by traditional Jamaicans. They're run by people from other countries. Chinese, Vietnamese, there's a lot of them there. White people, a lot of the doctors, they're white or Chinese or Indian. There's a lot of people from India, because they go to places like that they know that they can take their money and thrive. People who live there, they don't have money to begin with to thrive. So it's like now, the aftermath of this, like I know multiple people right now who have literally no home to walk in the door. They cannot even say that they're going to walk in the door of their home. There is no home. There's no home to go to. There's no shop. There's no car. You know how many cars I saw literally just in my dad's district? Trees are on top of the cars. My dad had a breadfruit tree on his car. It is too much. It is way too much. There's no power. They've had no power. That I've never heard of. That's like here in Florida, we have Duke. Duke Energy would put in this thing called a force majeure or force majeure, or I don't know if I say it's right. Where basically it makes the government relinquish temporary legal standing on a power company. Basically them saying, hey, we're not going to be able to help everybody, and we need you to release us temporarily from any liability because we're not going to be able to help everybody. We can only help who we can help. That's all. The last hurricane that my dad was in was a category 2 or 3, or it had been a tropical storm. I don't even think it was a full-on hurricane. I'm going to say it was because it was like a category 1 or 2. Remember, my dad didn't have power for over a month. Could you imagine being in your home with no electricity for over a month? We're not Amish. Could you imagine being without electricity for over a month? Some of y'all can't even go 24 hours without electricity. Y'all blowing Duke up to death. We had a hurricane here. Everybody, some people was out of power for a week. And when I tell you lawsuits flew out the sky, they flew out the sky. So imagine being without power for a month on a traditional little baby storm. And now your power company is telling you, hey, we don't even know when we're going to get to you right now. Just sit tight. You will survive. That is how the power company is handling this. Okay, the Virgin Islands. Yes. Irma tore the Virgin Islands apart. Y'all are still at this point of even still rebuilding. Some things can't even be rebuilt. Some schools never even reopened. So you are correct. The Virgin Islands, it can be very stressful because your comfort is uncomfortably crazy. Yes. And Irma was Irma a category 5 for the Virgin Islands? I don't think it was. But correct me if I am wrong, please. Please. If you guys recall, the last hurricane that we had that was complete devastation outside of Katrina was the hurricane that sat on top of Texas for a week and just kept turning and turning on top of Texas for a week. And you know how much they lost. But Texas is a big state with big money. So Texas, they recovered as best they could, but they're still recovering. And that wasn't even super recent. So I want you guys to understand this at the end of the day. There are going to be a lot of times when the uncontrollable happens. But what you do after the uncontrollable happens is going to be really the benchmark for you. So for me, I tried to find a flight to get to Jamaica to go and assess this situation with my dad and my sister. You can only do but so much over WhatsApp and videos. And my dad is so modest of a man. I don't feel like he's showing me it all because he knows how I am. And he knows that it will stress me to the core. But I know that my dad is not giving me everything. And what he's given me already is already stressful. Because I'm looking at it like, roof leaking all over the place. Thank God the roof wasn't ripped off because my dad, after the mudslide, he rebuilt the house and made everything cinder block, including the roof. The shop roof is gone because it's zinc roof. So a lot of the zinc flew off. Zinc for them is not cheap. The shop had flooding. Well, when you're selling foods out of the shop, most of it is dry goods. Dry goods meaning rice, flour, sugar, canned goods, noodles, those different things. Well, that's gone. His entire farm, which was at least an acre from the back of the house that I was helping him to build to get him out of that one room house that he built after the mudslide. We're not even going to talk about that house that we had already started building because it's almost at a point where we have to start over. Every banana tree gone, every plantain tree gone. There was 2 banana trees that actually had banana on it, and it became a cocoon in the wind. And honestly, I truly feel that the farm is what saved my dad's house, where it's still standing. The 4 walls of the one room and the bathroom is still standing. But everything else is gone. all of the street from my dad's home, because my dad lives in a small country area. You can barely get up the road. They're trying their hardest as just the residents to cut the trees the best they can to clear them out so that they can go and go to and from. Gas stations are non-existent in the country. For you to get to a gas station in the country, you have to go at least 20 minutes up the road. And that's on a good day with a good road. So imagine the road now. So there's really no gas. Electricity is completely obsolete. My father has Wi-Fi because he has a hotspot that I sent from here to there. And I would love to send a multitude of hotspots, but I really can't. Like, I want to just be this, I want to be Crystal the Savior, and I can't. And when I say Crystal the Savior, meaning I want to be able to save so many people. I want to be able to help so many people. I want to be able to do so much, but I can't. And this is a moment where I have to just say, I can't. I can't. So at this point, I'm at bare minimum of just trying to help my father and my sister. I have not even spoken to all my other family members. My father and my sister are of my top priority because that's my father and my sister. I got to do what I got to do. If this could have been the worst time for a hurricane, this is definitely it. This is it. This is definitely it. This is definitely it. Anyway, let me tell y'all about this flight that I tried to find. Because I feel that it's easier for me to help them while I'm there rather than here. And I can actually go and assess what I know my father is literally telling minimal about. A flight right now to go to Jamaica is $2,600 from here to on. I just said only coming Tuesday, because who also need their mom, who all need to be cared for. I got big bills over here. Let me say big bills. I would fly from Orlando, Florida to Panama. Get to Panama Friday night. No, Saturday. I said I did this for Saturday. Fly from here to Panama Saturday. Sit in Panama Saturday, Sunday to fly out Monday to then go to Jamaica on Tuesday. Or no, get to Jamaica Monday night. That is $2,600. I mean, number one, $2,600 of a flight. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Furthermore, the flight time is 45 hours. Have y'all ever heard of a 45-hour flight time or travel time? Unless you go into Japan and y'all stop 6 times. So then I said, all right, let me check how much to go from Miami in the area. I will just take the Bright Line for $20, Bright Line down to Miami, and then go from Miami to Kingston, because right now Montego Bay Airport is ridiculous. That Nagagwan. That's $1,400 from Miami. That is a 45-minute flight. From Miami to Kingston, Jamaica is 45 minutes to 1 hour. $1,400. So while everybody's trying to get out, I'm trying to get in. And I'm sure there's a million other people trying to get in. I'm sure there's people who haven't heard from their family members and now they're really trying to get in. And what a way to price gouge. What a way to price gouge on something of such detriment. Wow. So my goal now is to pack 2 barrels, which I don't know how long that will take, because if you send 2 barrels now, it takes 2 weeks without bad weather. Imagine the wharf right now. Sending 2 barrels right now in November. I kind of foresee it getting to him January, February. So when I thought about it, it was like, okay, pack 2 barrels for what? I'm better off flying there and going to somebody's supermarket and buying $1,000 worth of grocery, because I'd still come out less and he'd still get the food faster. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this. Flights are not that expensive. A flight to Jamaica can be $200. You can literally go to Jamaica for $200. I've been on a Spirit flight to Jamaica when they were $9. I paid $102 to get there. They're not that expensive, but they're gouging so much because they know that people really need to get there. So they went and they said, we're going to charge you 20 times the price and we're going to win on this. How dare you win on something that is a tragedy of this nature? How dare you even think that way? And there's only 2 airlines that are offering it, American and Coba. Never heard of Coba in my life. Coba is the one that said I would have to fly to Panama. American said that I could fly from Miami. But you still got to pay us $1,400 for a regular seat. Don't forget that part. Yeah. 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 I've never started a GoFundMe in my entire life. And actually, no, let me back up because that's not true. This is my second GoFundMe. The first one was for my daughter's fundraising for them to go to their Rome trip. I actually started a GoFundMe yesterday because at this point, I can't do this alone. I cannot do this alone. I cannot do this alone. And as vulnerable as I hate to feel, I have to say it out of my mouth. And God said, if you don't ask, you won't receive. So I started a GoFundMe yesterday for my dad and my sister. Mind you, I'm just Crystal, okay? I can only help who I can help. And right now, my number one priority is my dad and my sister. I would love to help the entire island of Jamaica. I would love to be able to fly to Jamaica with 3 suitcases full of battery packs or things that I know that they need right now. Battery packs, clothes, shoes, dry goods. I would love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to do that, but I can't. I can't do that. But as I said, you guys, I started a GoFundMe for my dad and my sister. Because that's all I can do at this point until I can figure out how to get there. And even with the GoFundMe, I have to actually bring the money there. Because sending it to my dad, well, there's no power, there's no ATM. The banks will probably be restored. You could probably fight your way to a Western Union and stand in line for 24 hours. But that's not even existent. So I know that I will end up having to find a way to get to Jamaica to really get this taken care of. But this is at the worst time this is the worst time ever. This is really one of the worst times ever. But yeah, you guys, I started a GoFundMe for my dad and my sister to help with whatever expenses, because it's all on my back at this point. There's no jobs there. If there was a job there, you know, to go to, or you can't get to it, or it's there, but it's not even in operation because there's no power. So it's not like you can go and make money. They make money it's more saying cash, unless you're a teacher or something of that nature. My sister's out of school. The school is completely damaged, so there is no school. If there is school, there is no power. So what are they going to do? So that doesn't work. So she's home with my dad. My dad told me the whole situation with her during the hurricane. I don't even want to go through that because I know I already know that that's just not going to be a conversation that I want to have. It's not a conversation that I want to have with my dad and my sister, because I know my sister. I know how she is. I know she's just a bag of tears, and her sister is just a bag of tears. So it's best that we just don't even talk about it. Like, I don't even want to make it up. Sometimes it's best you just don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just trying to be as strong as I can for her and my dad. Because that's really what I need to be, strong at this point. So regardless of what you guys, if you guys can donate to the GoFundMe, that would be amazing. It would be truly appreciated, because we are right now at a place where I have to figure this out, and I can't do this alone, and I have to just be open and honest and say I need help to do this, because this is a lot. And I'm just one person trying to help two people. And I know that Jamaica is devastated by millions. There's millions of people right now that are not talking to their family. They don't even know where they are. I thank God my dad had the little piece of hotspot thing that he can go out on the street and walk the street and try to get signal so that he can just tell me that he was okay. So, you know, yeah. So the link is in the description box, you guys. You know, if you can, great. If you can't, truly still appreciate it with your intent and your thoughts and your prayers. I appreciate everybody. The GoFundMe is in the it's in the what is something in the name? It's in the description box. Sorry, y'all. My brain is frazzled, y'all. So please forgive me. But the GoFundMe link is in the description box of this live. Um, so any donations are appreciative. I give a damn if it's $1, if it's $5, it doesn't matter. Currency in Jamaica, for every US dollar is 150 Jamaican dollars. I'm sure after the hurricane, the currency will drop because of devastation, and they know that the currency is going to drop. So I'm assuming it'll be somewhere around 140. Well, 140 Jamaican dollars ain't shit. You can't even buy, you can buy probably a Pepsi. You might be able to buy a Pepsi, but I feel like I paid like $180 for a Pepsi. So just so y'all know the correlation in dollars. Gas is not sold by gallon, it's sold by liter in Jamaica. They don't sell gallons of gas, they sell liters of gas. And it's 5 times the amount that we pay here. We complain about gas here. We are living a lavish life with our gas price. Because if our gas price is $3, that's 300, let's say 380 Jamaican dollars. Thank you, Trey Thomas. I appreciate it. If you guys could use the GoFundMe, that would be great. The reason why I say that is the YouTube dollars, that does not get released until next month. So if you guys could just donate to the GoFundMe, it's more immediate, it's more acute. I can get it right away. Whereas on YouTube, it goes to YouTube, and then I have to split that 60-40. YouTube takes 40% of everything you guys give me on here. So if you guys could put it to the GoFundMe, all the proceeds are from my dad and my sister. I can take care of myself. I'm taking care of them as much. But Trey Thomas, thank you again. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, because at this point, people think that this is something small. It's not. This is not small. You know, just a house that I've been using the money from Moon Spice. People know that I make Moon Spice. Moon Spice is named from my dad. My dad created it. All of the money from the Moon Spice was going to building my dad's house so that I could get them out of this 1.5 bedroom house. And when I say 1.5 bedroom, it's a room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. You guys ever wonder why I never show you my dad's house? Look at it again. It's there. Check it again, please. Sadiq, check it again. It's there. You guys ever wonder why I don't show my dad's house when I go to Jamaica? Because it's not something that you need to see. It's not a living situation that I want people to see. It's not a living situation that I want the world to see. It's not. And that's the reason why I never show it, because it's one of those places where Jamaica is a very small place. And they live by whatever means they can. And my dad's house that he lives in right now is not something that I would like to show the world. And my father's extremely prideful, so I won't show he won't show it. You know, my dad, he'll be on the internet. You know, my dad is one of them people. But he's also a very prideful man. And when my father has to break down and say, Crystal, Ray, yeah. It's not... I'm putting the link in the chat. It's not it's not easy for him. It's not easy for me, because I'm just as prideful as him. So yeah, I'm just as prideful as my dad. But when you need help, you need help. And Sarah Jakes said it the other day. Sarah Jakes Roberts, let me say it the right way, said it the other day. She said, sometimes you have to be vulnerable and you got to let people see your vulnerability because God needs to see that you're being vulnerable too. You can't be strong forever. You can't. You cannot be strong forever. So I'm checking flights. I'm trying my hardest not to cry. I'm checking flights to try to get there as soon as possible if need be. So that I can do something. I don't know. Yeah. Thank you guys. So yeah, any donations to the GoFundMe would be great. Um, all the proceeds are gonna go towards my dad and my sister, and I'm still doing whatever I can on my own. I am one person who takes care of a lot of people and still has to make sure that her business stays afloat. So even in these times, it's not easy. That's why I said this is not the best time for some shit like this. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you guys. I thank you guys for all that you're doing. I thank you guys for all of your prayers. I thank you guys for just staying with Elite Hair Care. Yeah. Um, hmm. Well, I have to get to work because these products don't make themselves and these orders don't process themselves. I got to get out of this mindset right now. So yeah, I have a couple videos that I have to upload sometime today. Um, our annual Halloween sale starts tonight at midnight, where all of our Elite Hair Care products are 50% off from midnight to 8 a.m. And then from 8 a.m. to noon, they're 40% off. And then from noon through the entire weekend, they're 30% off. That's on both sites, Elite Hair Care and Miss Crystal Williams. For those of you that want to purchase Moon Spice is over on MissCrystalWilliams.com. All of the proceeds from Moon Spice go to my dad anyway. That's always been a part, which is why I'm even more so miserable right now, because the house that we've been working on using all the money towards Moon Spice has to now restart from the base again. But God is good. And I thank God that they're okay. I thank God that my trouble is not trying to figure out how to bury my dad and my sister. I thank God that my trouble is just trying to figure out how to rebuild and get them back on their feet. I pray for everybody who is dealing with situations like what I just mentioned, because that was also in my mind when I couldn't hear from them. So I know how that feels. I thank God that that's not my worry. I thank God that that's not my thoughts. I thank God that I don't have that worry right now. My worry is just to make sure that I get them on their feet so that they can actually just live a normal life again. But God is good. God is good. God is good. But I love you guys. I thank you guys so much. Um, yes, apparently they do split the money from YouTube from what I know. Um, that's why I said, please use the GoFundMe, you guys. Please use the GoFundMe. I rather know that whatever's in the GoFundMe, Daddy, this is all right. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna blah 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 blah. Crystal gonna take whatever money she got, and we're gonna figure this out. Blah 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 blah. Right now, my money is going towards the acute issue, getting him some food to make sure that they have food that is like non-perishable, because there's no electricity. So it's not like he has meat on all these things. The meat he did have, he was able to salvage it, because one of the, like, he has a freezer for the goods that he sells in the shop. That freezer is still frozen. He can plug that into a small generator that we got for him last year, because he was out of power for a month. But guess what? When the generator gas runs out, there's no gas. There's no way to get the gas. There's no gas. So once the gas runs out of the generator, we're back to being in the dark. I'm trying not to. I feel like I'm like, the problems are dropping on my head. That's how I feel. The problems are just dropping down on my head. Every time I say something out my mouth, I'm like, oh my God, that's the next problem. Oh, that's the next problem. That's the next problem. Like, y'all, like, Oh, Link, I pray every morning. I pray through the day, baby. I pray in my mind. I pray while I'm at work. I have to pray while I'm here. I have to pray while I'm here. Because if you don't pray over your business and pray over your help, your staff, pray over I pray over my products. I pray over the car I drive. I pray over my kids. I pray over the car they driving. I pray over everything and everybody all the time. Silently, I do that. Because I know prayer works. Prayer works. Prayer works. It always works. It always works. Anyway, you guys, I am going to get myself in the door. I've been saying that for the last 20 minutes, right? I'm going to get myself in the door, go try to get my day started. Try to move and groove. I will probably be on live later to process some orders. That's exciting to me. I love processing orders. It's fun. I like to scan the stuff like I'm at a grocery store, so it's a little weird. Don't pay me no mind. But that's my thing. I enjoy it. I used to like being a store clerk when I was a kid. Oh Lord, what's that piece or something? I'll be on POV tonight, you guys. I'll be on POV tonight, so if you guys have access to Afro TV app, or you have Xfinity channel 1623, or Roku. Sorry, again, mine is all over. Roku TV, you can watch the Afro TV app on there for free. So you guys definitely tune in tonight. I touch and agree with you. The needs will be met and homes and businesses will be restored in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys to everybody who's donated, who's attempting to donate, who's trying to help. I appreciate you. Again, the GoFundMe is pinned here, but it's also in the description box of this video, and it's in the description box of the video I posted last night. So you guys, I appreciate it again. Everybody have a good rest of your Thursday. I'm taking baby C out to go trick-or-treating tomorrow, and Christian to go trick-or-treating. Alex as well. Adriana is now 18. She's going to a Halloween party. I don't even know if I want her to go to that, because I'm like, but she's 18. I do have to let her be a young adult, but she's still my child. So I'm beyond her. But yeah, so I'll see everybody later. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.